Yeah, so I think the same struggle that I was going through, that being around a lot of men, the same struggle they were also going through, of not being around a lot of women. So
Ah, the
how
ratio.
to how where they learn. So eventually, so I was almost invisible to them, as in, like, they would talk, uh, they would talk as if only men were there. So
Mm,
there are certain things that you wouldn't talk with the other gender. So, that way, to experience or to even hear at that age, it used to be,
mm.
a bit
Right.
awkward. But now everyone is open and they talk in a very, um, uh,
Inclusive way.
yeah, inclusive way.
Hello and welcome once again to my channel, Say Something with Mads. This is a youth channel where every week we have youth change makers, young people from across the globe who has something to share, some opinion, some perspective, and some core ideas where they want to share it with my audience. So this channel is purely for youth. And today we have Surbhi Agarwal. Surbhi is joining me from Japan. As I was telling her before the interview, this is one of my favorite countries. So when Surbhi said she's from Japan, I said, you got to be on my channel. And I will ask her to introduce herself. She is going to speak about women in STEM, and you will see her journey. A lot of work has gone in. She's a techie, she's women in STEM. We'll discuss a lot about this issue. But let's welcome her, Surbhi. Over to you. Just in few words, tell me who Surbhi is, a little bit about your background and the meaning of your name.
Okay, so I'll start with the meaning of my name. It means beautiful smell, and it's kind of God also. I think, like, yeah, so beautiful and a form of God. So that's the meaning of
Mm.
my name. And I think I actually mean no. So one of the things that actually sticks with me and my name is that Surbhi means a cow, and what a cow does is, like,
Okay.
it takes the food, it digests it, but it also brings it back in
Mm.
whenever the free time is there. So what is this? This is something that I do with my thoughts. I
Okay.
and it's a very weird characteristic, but I think it's very relatable to what I have in my
Yes.
name. So.
Yes. Tell me about yourself, your schooling, your college. And I know you have a twin sister. Let's talk about your sibling also here.
Okay. So yeah. So I'll start with my schooling, and then I gradually progress towards my college. So, like, I used to for a lot of long for a long time. I used to live in Himachal Pradesh, Baddi, and it's a village like area. So
Okay.
I used to travel 1.5 hours away from there to go to my school. So I used to
Oh,
wake up at 5:30, and line up for buses at 6:30, and then reach there at 8, and then I used to come back. Like, it used to be a whole 1.5 hours of commute to and fro. So, like, I
uh,
learned a lot of dedication and determination from there, from early childhood, that to get what you want, you have to work hard. So
mm,
yeah, so I did my schooling from Delhi Public School, Pinjore. Then we, like, because of they want a lot of resources, and I wanted to prepare for my entrance exam for the college. We shifted to a better place. We shifted to Panchkula, Haryana, where I got my coaching and my schooling for 10th, 11th, and 12th from Bhavan Vidyalaya. And from there, in 2017, I entered the IIT Delhi, and it's been a journey since then. It's
all right.
actually the career in STEM started from there. And
Okay.
the best part is my twin sister also got into the same college, and we ended up doing engineering from the same college. So
Mm.
yeah.
Were you doing the same branch, or is she got a different branch than you?
Unluckily, so we ended up getting into different branches. So I did my BTech in textile engineering, whereas she did it in engineering physics.
All right. So when you were in Panchkula, you stayed alone there, or your parents were also there with you, or you stayed in a hostel?
No, we all shifted to Panchkula, so my family
Oh,
was there.
okay. And tell about your parents, who where are they also have a STEM background, or did you learn anything from them to what was the drive behind IIT? And maybe all good students plan this, okay? So if I'm a topper in the school, I will have to go to IIT. Or was there something in your home that prompted you to go to IIT or think about IIT also?
Mm. Honestly, I wouldn't say it was my dream aspect to go to IIT, but I always liked the subjects involved in engineering. So, like, I'm an RMO scholar, which means like I was amongst one of the top 800 students to clear an exam, which is one of the most difficult mathematics exam in India. So, like, these instances told me that I really do like these subjects. And um, I have learned one thing in life: if you're good at it and if you love it, you'll get into it. So
Hmm.
I think that is what made me, get into the colleges that I got into.
Right. So it was not somebody who pushed you into it, or because you were naturally interested in that, right? And then you worked towards it. So tell me, this is some question which I think many people would want to know, and many people are trying to do this throughout. Everybody wants. So once you get into IIT, how did things change for you after coming out? The brand IIT opens a lot of door. Did it happen to you, or did the alumni, it's very strong IIT alumni, tell me about your journey in IIT. Did you feel that you belonged there, or were there some challenges which you faced once you entered in that male dominated, though there are many women now? So tell us about your journey in IIT, through IIT.
Yeah. So I think the challenges presented right itself from where, like, the mentality before coming to IITs is that once you get into IITs your life is sorted, but that's not how life works. I have eventually realized, like, you have to keep working
Mm,
every day to get where
mm,
you want. The moment you stop doing things, moment you stop working hard, you stop getting things. So so with that mentality, a lot of students enter into it and they just give up the whole study
yeah,
path. So
yeah.
so the challenge itself, it is a bigger challenge in itself, because if you screw up your first sem, it's a cascading thing. Every
Mm,
semester of yours will fall because it's an accumulated GPA.
mm,
So that way, the first challenge was that. Then the male-dominated society. The thing is, like, I have two sisters, and so in a family of five, my mother, my father, and my two sisters and me, we four are female, and my father is the only male. So I wasn't used to having around a lot of men
yeah.
around me. So the
Yes.
moment, and I was thrown into an ocean of men.
Yeah.
so so it was a lot of struggle for
Did
me.
you do your schooling from an all girls school?
No, I didn't do my schooling from an all-girls
Acha.
school, but in school there's a whole divide. Like,
Yeah,
at
yeah,
least in
yeah,
Indian society, there's a whole
yeah,
divide, like girls,
yeah,
boys. So
yeah,
eventually it washes off, but in school it doesn't. So
mm,
in college, I was put like it, and in my branch, out of 120 students, only six were girls. So that way the ratio was really screwed. uh,
uh,
yeah, so that presented its challenge in the fact that I was very shy in asking what I wanted. And, like, I've realized that as a woman, I want to be perfect in all of the things, which is the
mm,
worst quality, which is the
yes,
worst quality out there. I have to, and I've learned it with time that I have to try, I have to fail, and I might get things, I might not. So asking for things and asking for help from, boys, and at that age where when the boys are also very, not as mature as when they leave.
yeah, 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 true, true, absolutely. That's what I'm getting into. Yeah, speak. It's very interesting. More, share some incidents if you remember. And the first year is always a struggle. Spoken to so many people. They said that first year you feel like running away from college, and you don't know what it is. But by the end of the college term, then you belong actually to IIT. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the same struggle that I was going through, that being around a lot of men, the same struggle they were also going through, of not being around a lot of women. So
Ah, the ratio.
how to talk to, how to coexist. It's where they learn. So eventually, so I was almost invisible to them, as in like they would talk, uh, they would talk as if only men were there. So
Mm,
there are certain things that you wouldn't talk with the other gender. So, that way to experience or to even hear at that age, it used to be,
mm,
a bit
right.
awkward. But now everyone is open and they talk in a very, um, in,
Inclusive way.
yeah, inclusive way, in a very decent way. There,
Mm.
how, so that is what I've learned, that, with time they learn how to talk about things.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
it's
they're very insensitive, and that insensitivity hurts.
right, right. That's a very nice the observation which is very pertinent. Only who go through will understand what is this. So you had your sister in the same hostel?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I had her in the same. Luckily, they assigned us the hostels, and they just assigned us the same floor, the same hostel. We were just 2 rooms away from each other, but yeah, the journeys are far apart.
Oh, really? Okay, okay. I thought you had fall back upon somebody that at least you get a familiar face. Imagine if some of the girls even don't have those someone anchor, so they must be really really going through a lot. So, yeah. So I was asking you when you left IIT, did you make any very good friends who are boys, or did this thing become much more easier, except they accepted you? What is the ratio? Do you have a lot of connection with the boys of your batch till now?
Yeah, yeah. So one friend of mine is a really good friend of mine, and we have been friends since first year. So
Okay.
it wasn't hard. Like, I am someone who is capable of making friends. Like, I'm gender equal, honestly. So I don't really see someone as a girl, as a boy, and then make friends. I'm more of a gender equal person. So, but the thing is, how someone talks to you matters to me a lot. So in that way, when they matured, I was at a point where I was busy in my life. So, to make friends after a certain age becomes harder, because you get busier. So, but yeah, like, I have some friends I'm in constant touch with, and some of them are
Right.
boys, some of
Great.
yeah.
So, coming back to my next question is, I remember reading your post, a LinkedIn post, also about your profile. You have gone to Switzerland to do a course. EP, was it an online? You actually went to Switzerland to do this? EP, what is it called? EPLF? No, one minute.
Yeah, yeah, EPFL. So I didn't. So I went there for an internship. So, like, it's a very, highly research oriented university, EPFL Switzerland. So I went there for internship for 2 months.
Oh,
Um, mm, mm,
this is
and
when after IIT.
before, no, in my second year in IIT.
Oh, okay. You went from IIT, or there was some. So you took the college. You took leave from college and went there, or college sent you there.
No, no, no. So I applied for an internship over there. I got in, and the
Uh,
thing is, like, we have 2 months off after every year. So I
ah,
went
that time
there
you did.
that time.
So tell us your experience there. I read about it. It's, as you said, it's a very prestigious organization to be selected there, and to done there is something really big. So what changed in you? Was it the first time you were traveling abroad on your own, on as a student? And what was the most important learning? And how would you describe this now after looking back? What did it teach you?
So yeah, so it was a transformative experience, honestly, because I was just in my second year, and someone who's just in her second year, some other person is trusting you with his research, and just in your second year, and it's a very
Wow.
big thing. People can take those chances on you. So one of the things that I learned is to believe in myself. Apart
Wow.
from all the academics, obviously there were a lot of research wise also. It broadened my perspective onto how things work, and how research in an international environment goes. But what I, personally speaking, what I learned from there is to believe in myself. If someone is taking a chance on me, how am I not someone who can take a chance on myself?
Okay.
So
So,
yeah.
what do you have to do to apply there if somebody is listening and somebody is interested? What do you have to do to apply there, and how? What are the criteria on which you are chosen?
So generally they have summer programs,
Okay.
specially designed for all of these. You can apply through them, or you can, like what I didn't do it through summer programs because summer programs are for third year students. I knew what I wanted and I knew which professor I wanted to work under. So I
Oh,
just,
really? You had
yeah,
researched that also? Okay.
yeah, yeah. So I mailed him and he found my profile. I think
Wow.
worthy enough to call me there. So
Beautiful. So, you were doing textile engineering, which has a component of chemistry, you mean to say, right?
No, so I took electives in my college years, and I have taken a lot of electives. Like electives are courses that you take outside of your branch. So I took
Okay.
a lot of electives, and I have been pursuing a lot of things based on my
Like what?
interest.
Like what? Which are the
Like
electives?
yeah, so I took biomass, then I took quantum computation and information, then I
Okay.
took in psychology. Like I have taken three side courses in psychology.
Your sisters.
Yeah, my two sisters that I have.
You have another twin sister and you have another sister, elder.
Yeah, yeah, I have an elder sister also.
Okay.
She's 5
Okay.
years older.
Okay. Okay. Right. Continue. Huh.
So, like, I look up to them because they're more dedicated. They're more uh, determined for what they want,
Right.
and it's just how they handle themselves. They handle themselves in the stressful situations in the best way possible. That is
Yeah.
what I look up to. Rest all the things, I think we
Manage.
get we get when what we want if we work enough for it. So yeah.
Right. Right. So we talk about your job. You are right currently working with Honda. Is it your first job? How did you get into? Did you apply in Honda, or you had planned to go abroad to work? What is your professional journey after coming out of IIT? What was the first thing you did, and which was your first job? Is this the first one?
Yeah, so this is my first job. I like so this how the system works in IIT is that companies come there and they hire you
Yes.
based on your profile. So
Yes.
like we just apply in the through the portal, and they see if we are a fit, they hire us. So I think Honda was a great match to what I wanted to do for long term. So here is like I've joined here as an AI researcher, and I think
Okay.
I've been trying to do things uh, in alignment with what I want to do
So tell me
for
about
a longer term.
Japan as a country. What was the most few beautiful things you learned, and what is the thing which is similar to Indian culture, and how much you miss something from home when you first landed? Three questions in one. Three important things you learned from the Japanese culture, and what is the similarity you see between the two cultures? And yes, when you landed first in Japan, what is the most like you remember that I missed India because of this? What would that be?
Okay, so I'll start with the first question. Like, the first three things that I learned over here, right? The three things that I learned.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, like I have, as a human, I have grown here because I think I have seen here extreme of societies exist. Like Shibu, if you see Shibuya,
Yeah.
Shibuya is very different from other parts of Tokyo.
Okay.
Like so, like Shibuya has all kind of craze also in it. So to accept people as they are, to to let them live as they want to, and you can coexist. You don't have to be pressurizing others to be like you. So I learned over here because a lot of I think the part where extreme of societies exist, like in where I work, Roppongi, it's a very I would say people are very uptight. People are very well maintained. They don't let them loose. Like they have to be perfect everywhere, from every strand on their head of their
Hair.
hair to
Yeah.
and Shibuya is all about being yourself.
Hmm.
So. that's such an extreme thing to witness,
Okay,
and that is existing just in parts of Tokyo. So
okay,
that is
right.
beautiful.
What else? What else about the lifestyle, about food, about eating? We hear so much about Japan. So, what is it that, what else you would say? Yeah,
Japan, I think, is a country which reveals itself layer by layer, but it
okay.
takes time. Like it's like an onion. But everyone wants to make, as conclusions about it in just very few days of stay. So I
Yeah,
think even after 1.5 years of staying here, I don't think so I'll be ever be able to make the right conclusions about it, because I think it's an ever-changing country and it's very culturally different than India. Only thing that I think is similar to India is how they treat elders, the respect that they have for elders, and how
yes,
they place elders in in their family, the role that elders have in their family. So
right.
that respect is very common for sure. But everything else, it's very different.
If you have to write a book
Mm.
about yourself, who you are now, what would be the title of the book?
I think it would be the same as what Jawaharlal Nehru wrote, Tryst with Destiny.
Okay, okay. Yeah,
So
you believe in that, that some
yeah,
things to be left is to destiny is better. You don't have to question it.
yeah,
It's come
yeah,
to you
yeah.
from somewhere you have never imagined it comes to you. Lovely. All right. Surbhi, if you have, when we were talking, you said you read a lot of books. Do you have any book suggestions, book recommendations for our audience?
Man search for meaning. Man search for meaning.
Okay. Okay.
Man's yeah.
Do you have a lot of Indian community, or you have a multicultural community in your company also, and you among your friends, among your peer? Are they from different countries, or do you have few Indians also?
Yeah, so yeah, my team is Indian based only. It's an MNC, right? So it's going to have a lot of
A
other
lot of them.
nationalities. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's the same for Honda. Yeah, but like my team is Indian, it's full of Indians. Luckily, it doesn't happen like that, but luckily, I have.
Right, that's amazing. That's all said and done. You want to mix with other people, you want to broaden your horizon, but you do have that comfort level when you see an Indian face or Indian company, Indian people around you. That's definitely helps initially. So tell me, if you have to visit one country in the world, what would that be? One city, country, whichever, which is your dream place to go?
I think for now it's Italy, because
Okay.
Italy is full of art, and like
Yeah.
I think all these instruments, like violin, I think it's
Wow,
uh,
love.
yeah, it's very famous in Italy, and it has some of its roots over there. Europe
Mhm.
for sure, because Europe was once the center for music. So I would want, like, I have this goal of pursuing music making from Europe, but I don't know how much it will
Right.
materialize.
Lovely, lovely. Keep this in your mind. Sometimes it'll happen. Just like
Yeah,
you started learning, nothing is impossible.
yeah.
Uh, Surbhi, we have been talking about you, your personality, what you like, everything we have covered. But again, I would come back to the core topic, women in STEM. Where do you see in the world? What is the challenge? I have spoken to young girls like you a lot. Why do young people, drop out after some time? Though they are good in math, though they are good in school, they are doing very well, but they don't have the confidence that they are meant for future work related in STEM area, especially where the boys don't have this confidence level. The girls think that, no, we are not meant for that. I'm good in math. That's okay. I'm getting good. Maybe they get 100 on 100, but they don't want to pursue STEM career. Do you say there's a change in the thinking right now? Or I'm talking about my time. Of course, a lot of people would drop out, even if they are good in science and math, they would not pursue most they would go to traditional BSc, MSc, and very few people would go out. But now, of course, engineering is a big branch, but still you see the disparity. Why do you think women don't want to pursue it? What is it that they haven't? Is there a bias around that? What do you think?
I think it's not about, to feel relatable, you need to have some, like, I also feel that in around me, to feel relatable, you want to have women around you. at
Yeah,
least few women around you, and
yeah.
in STEM, as you go up up in the ladder, the numbers just, fall out you fall out
Very
exponentially.
fast. Yes, yes. Uh,
Yeah, so that is one thing that also makes, we have so much precedence for how to raise a child, how to cook at home. There's a lot of precedence to it, so you can learn from them. But where's precedence to, how to go up the ladder, what things to do? There are no precedents, which also, like I have like I have also looked up how to, move up the ladder, or how in future I see where I see myself. There's very less precedence on what I can do about it, or whom I can talk about it to. So that, I think, makes people fall off from where they are in their career. I think
So
this.
do you think you play that role when if people connect to you like this talk? So would you encourage, what would be the words of encouragement you see that what is it that they have to break that mental barrier to be a woman in STEM and continue working on in spite of all the issues which you spoke about? Yeah, I was asking you what role would you play to the young girls if they want to be in the STEM? What mentoring, what would you do to make this place a more welcoming for the young girls to come? What do you think you should do? You can do
I
rather.
think I think I'll allow them to be, to play with a lot of things, like I've realized that, men have more risk taking nature, which actually helps in engineering,
You are
because
right.
yeah, like, because I have never opened a fridge and, tried a screwdriver, tried learning what the parts of it are. I've only learned the textual parts, texture, what text could, give impart in me. But I think men, they just, I don't know if it's the Indian society, or, it's
Mm,
everywhere. They just have the confidence in them to test things and not be, scolded for that. So I think
yeah,
that.
and also not be judgmental about it. I won't even try because what if I fail? Women have this all the time to be perfect in everything. As you said initially, we want to be perfect in everything, and in that we put a lot of restrictions in our mind that okay, what if I
Yeah.
fail? Right, right, perfect, yeah. And beautifully said. And tell me about the education. Like we talk a lot about Indian education system, but since you are from IIT, you had the best of laboratory no the gadgets, everything available to you. People who want to do something, but schools and colleges don't have that freedom, that everything is so okay, this much is required, we are giving you this much, nothing to new to explore, nothing new. They are investing in the lab is just a byproduct, it has to be there because it is there. So they're not upgrading the lab system in schools, at least I know. For now, I have been in teaching for so many years. So what do you think? This the experiential learning in science is very important, right?
Yeah, I think resources is a big hurdle when it comes to engineering, because, engineering, as it is about gadgets, you cannot do it without having them. So I wouldn't say that, it doesn't add to anything. It does, having resources.
Very
We,
much.
I went to Switzerland just to have the best of resources, to be able to research on things that I couldn't do. I know I could, but not as much as I would have done over there. So these universities are obviously, as you said, these universities are famous for having more resources than the others, and so they're able to invest in a lot of things that other universities won't be able to. So I think, yeah, that's a big hurdle, and but I think, in today's world, if we look around, we'll find a way to do things, if you want to, like, for example, coding. It has become so, like, it's democratized now. Coding you can do on any laptop, on any um, computer. So I think that way it's becoming better, but I do agree that, resources play a huge role.
Right. Survey is the time where there's a role reversal. You get to ask me a question. It could be anything. Yes, let's go for it. I'm waiting for your question. So I look forward to this section a lot.
Okay. So I would want to know why through podcasts you want to vocalize the stories of people. There are a lot of other ways you can survey them, you can write stories, but why podcast? What
Okay.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
So, good question. I've been asked many different questions, but why podcast? Only podcast? Because see, podcast is something, it comes naturally to me. Obviously, I will play to my strength when I'm doing something. I'm not a very good writer. Writing is not my forte, but connecting to people through words is something which is my USP, and this is something which I work on. Being a teacher, it comes naturally, or being a person who can get into the mind of other people with talking and connecting is something which I think made me attract towards this platform. Where else I would meet somebody like you sitting in Japan and talking to you, me in Dubai, you in Japan, and then so beautifully we merge our thoughts together through this virtual platform. So I think this is what makes me continue doing this platform podcast. We are also on Spotify, but seeing you physically may not be. I can't see you. I can't touch you and see. But yeah, video and audio both is something only podcast can give us. So yes, that's
Thank
yeah.
you.
Um, Surbhi, we are at the end of our beautiful talk, and I'm sure people who are listening today learn a lot. Basically, it was a journey of a girl in the field of STEM and in a country away from India, and how things can be, and how you have adapted so beautifully. Everything which you said is a learning for our youth who are listening. I would like you to end this talk with maybe a one line or a quote or something which comes to your mind, which is very close to your heart, some philosophy which you follow in life. So yeah.
I think the philosophy that I follow is to risk things, and otherwise I would be regretful about it, and regrets are the hardest thing to let go of. So risk things, risk.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right. Perfect. Yeah, and you are a techie, you are in STEM, and you're saying, yeah, for everybody, and anything, risk taking is to be afraid of failure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Surbhi, for being here. It was a pleasure talking to you. I know it's very late in Japan, but you made time for this, and I'm so happy to have you on my show. Thank you
Thank you
so
for
much.
having me. Thank you for having
It
me.
was
It's my
great.
my my honor.
Thank you so much. And before I end the show, I request all the listeners to please subscribe to this channel, because this is the only youth channel I know of where youth are given the center stage. So they need it. We need to listen to what youth wants to say to us. And my one tip for today is to make this world a better place. One thing which I do is I do not use tissues when I go out. I do not use tissues in the washrooms. I do not touch those tissues. I carry a cloth, a handkerchief with me. So, this is one small tip. Every podcast, I share one tip which I use to making this world a better place to live, living more sustainably. So, thank you so much once again. Bye bye.